Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I've got a beginner's Pilates workout for you. So when you're ready, come and lie down onto your back into the relaxation position. So slowly rolling down, and I just want you to bend up your knees, lengthen your arms down by your side, rest your head onto your mat and take a few deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. Lovely, good. We're going to inhale to lengthen your left leg and right arm, and then exhale to draw them back to the center. Over to the other side. Inhale to lengthen the leg and the arm away, and exhale to draw them back to center. So sliding the arm and the leg away from you, making sure not to move your pelvis, opening the hip and the shoulder as you lengthen, and then drawing them back in. Good. And then you're going to extend the leg and the arm, and then draw that knee up to tabletop as the arm comes above your chest, lengthen it down again and come back in. Over to the other side, extend, bend the leg into 90, lifting that arm up, lower and draw in. Good, so keep doing this. Using your tummy a little bit as you lift the knee to that tabletop position. And now lift one knee up to tabletop, join the other knee, and then place that leg down and the other leg. So it doesn't matter which leg goes first, using your tummy to control the movement. The movement is coming from the hip and not the knee. And hold it up there, really squeeze the legs together. Lengthen the legs up to the ceiling, flex the feet, point the toes, and then bring them back down to that tabletop position. You can either come all the way down or hold them at that 90 degrees, it's up to you. So lengthen, feel the stretch of the legs as you flex the feet, point the toes and draw them back down. Lovely, keeping the shoulders nice and relaxed, the head is relaxed onto your mat, and then bring the legs all the way down. Open your arms, palms up towards the ceiling, ready for some hip rolls. So lift the left side of your pelvis off your mat, allow your feet to roll over to the right and the knees, and then come back to center. Over to the other side, so just hitching the right side of the pelvis off your mat, allowing the knees to fall down slightly to the left and the feet are rolling over to the left as well. So really important here, make sure your shoulders and ribs stay heavy on your mat. It's just that one side of the pelvis hitching up, allowing the legs to come over. Use your obliques and abdominals to draw your legs back to center. Have a little look, make sure that your knees are squeezing together and that they're in line even as you roll over to one side. Lovely. Next move, you're going to just shuffle your legs so that they're hip width apart and parallel. Interlink your fingers, place your hands behind your head. Have your elbows nice and wide, but just so that you can see them, come into a curl up. So inhale to nod your chin to your chest, start to roll up through the spine, lifting your shoulder blades off your mat, eyes towards your thighs and come back down. Good, so inhale to come up and exhale to come all the way back down, making sure that you start with your chin tuck so that your spine is moving evenly and you're using your breath as you come up and down. We're going to add a knee raise now, so as you come up, lift your knee to 90 degrees and exhale to slowly and with control bring the foot back down. Over to the other side, bringing the knee into that tabletop position and placing it back down. Lovely, keep going with this. Lovely, staying up nice and high now. We're going to reach over with the right arm to that left thigh and then coming through center, twisting over to the other side. So try and stay up nice and high as you do this, extending and reaching that opposite arm to leg and coming back through center. Reach, twist, back through center, keeping that pelvis really still, getting into the obliques. Exhale as you come over, inhale back to center. and then coming all the way down. Lovely. Placing your hands by your side. We're going to extend one leg and the other, squeeze the legs together, inhale the arms up above the head, making sure those ribs are drawing down towards the hips. Big inhale and exhale, you're going to roll yourself up into sitting, wiggle out of the hips, and then start to tuck the tailbone under and slowly rolling bone by bone all the way back down. The arms will come overhead. Inhale here and exhale to roll on up into sitting. Again, have a little wiggle. And then start by tucking that tailbone under and rolling bone by bone all the way down as slowly as you can. Lovely. So mobilizing the spine here, working into the abdominals. And then tuck your legs under, coming into that 4-point kneeling position. In your 4-point kneeling position, make sure your wrists are directly under your shoulders, your knees are directly under your hips. Drop the tailbone between the legs and start to arch up into our cat. At the top, drop the head between the arms, tuck the toes under, and you're going to lean back, almost as if you're sitting onto your heels, and then come all the way over, stretching out your wrists a little bit, back into your center. Untuck the toes and come into your extension. So open up the chest and just stick the bottom out a little bit, ready to go again. So coming up into your cat, really arching the spine up here, tuck the toes under, sitting back, then coming forward, stretching out the wrists, then coming back to your neutral, back to center, and coming into that extension. So you're going to do this a few more times. Really stretching out here, opening up the hips, drawing your navel all the way to your spine. Lift your left hand and you're going to thread it behind the right, getting that nice twist there. Listen down to your mat. And come back all the way to center. So taking the right hand now, you're going to thread it behind the left, bend the left elbow slightly, getting that nice twist in the upper body. Try not to rock over to one side too much, and you're not completely collapsing there. On this one, we're going to add the arm extension. So you're going to thread the hand behind the other arm, listen down to your mat, get that nice twist, keep the tummy held tight, and then take the arm all the way up to the ceiling, look up towards the fingertips and back to center. Take it over to the other side. So really feeling that twist, and then lengthen the arm, opening up the chest and the shoulder, and gently place it back down. Extend your right leg now, toes touching the mat, and lift it to about hip height. Place it back down and draw it into center. Good. Make sure your pelvis stays nice and neutral. You're pushing up and away from your mat. Extend the left leg now, toes touching, and then just lift the leg to about hip height, keeping it nice and long, and draw it back in. This time you're going to add the arm, so over to the other side. As you extend and lift the leg, lift the opposite arm to shoulder height and come back in. And then exactly the same on the other side, so extend both the arm and the leg and then lift them, place them back down and slide them on in. Lovely, keep this going. Finding your balance. Making sure that the hips don't rock or roll over to one side. Nice strong upper body. Head is in line with the spine. Squeezing the bottom as you lift that leg. You're now going to dip your elbows directly behind your wrists. Do allow the body to come over the forearms as much as you can. The more you come over your forearms, the stronger it is. Okay, so we're just working into our triceps a little bit here. As I said before, keep those elbows directly behind your wrists. And then come back sitting onto your heels, have a little wriggle and a roll with the wrists. And then we're going to come over to our side lying leg series. So coming on down over on your right hand side, make sure your legs are nice and long and in line with the spine so the hips are stacked. Your top arm is just in front of you for a bit of support. The other hand is supporting your head. Start by lifting and lowering that top leg. So you're going to lift and lower, lift and lower. Keep this going, point the toes, really lengthen that leg away from you. And your next move, we're going to come into our circles. So circling that leg forward, back and around. If you're feeling a little wobbly, you can bend the underneath leg slightly for a bit more support. And reverse the circles now. So going back and then coming up. Good. Coming into our taps, we're going to tap the toe in front and then arch the leg as high as you can and tap the toes behind. Nice. Trying not to move the upper body too much. Make sure those arches are really big as you tap, lift and tap behind. And then coming into our pulses. So flex that foot and we're going to pulse the leg up, 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 up. Really squeezing into that top leg as much as you can. And then bring it all the way down. Bend the knee, place it in front of you, pat the bottom out, ready to lift and lower the underneath leg, working that inner thigh. Pointing the toe, we're going to lift and lower, lift and lower. Keep it going and then flex the foot. We're going to pulse the underneath leg here. Pulse, pulse, pulse. Working really hard. Well done. And then coming over, lying down onto our tummies in the prone position. So lying down onto your front, have your hands by your ears, elbows bent. Hover your nose just slightly off your mat. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, slide your nose away, lifting up through the back of the head, opening up the chest. Hold it for a minute at the top. Slowly lengthen your spine as you come all the way back in, sliding your nose in last. So you're going to inhale to slide the nose away and exhale to lift the back of the head, the neck and the chest, and then coming all the way down. Lovely. So we want a nice even curve of the spine as you come up. Try and release the lower back. Lovely. Keep this going. And on your next one, you're going to extend your arms up into a high V. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, slide the nose away, looking up, lifting the chest. Lift your left leg and then lift your right leg. Lift your left arm and lift your right arm. So you're staying up in that extension as you lift one leg, the other leg, and then one arm and the other arm. Lovely. If you can start to feel this in your lower back, then go back a little bit and just lift the upper body as we were doing before. But if you can, start to lift alternate legs and arms. Harder option here is to lift the opposite arm and the leg and lower. Lift the other arm and the leg and lower it down. So all the while keeping up into that extended position, lifting and lowering alternate legs and arms. Good. Now pushing back into your resting position, just drop your forehead onto your mat. Taking a big breath in here and exhale, come up into sitting. And then we're going to come over to the other side for our side lying leg series. So swinging your legs round, you're resting on your left hand side. Prop your head up with your hand. Make sure those legs are nice and long. Your hips are stacked and your underneath ribs and waist are lifted. Lift that top leg and lower it. Lift and lower. So we're doing exactly the same as the other side. Making sure to keep your tummy held nice and tight and the hand is in front for a little bit of support. Pointing the toes, lengthening that leg away from you. We're going to come into our circles now, so circling forward and then coming all the way behind the line of the spine. If you're feeling wobbly, again, bend the underneath leg. Nice big circles. You're going to reverse them now, so coming back and forward and round. Really getting into that bottom. Keep breathing. Coming into your taps now, tapping the toes forward, big arch all the way behind the line of the spine. So just gently tapping the toes down, lift and down. Doing really well. Keep this going. Squeezing into the bottom, hold it here, flex the foot, and you're going to pulse the leg nice and high. So really high pulses. Squeeze, 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 and then bend it down in front of you, pat out the bottom and start to lift and lower your underneath leg, working that inner thigh. So it's a lift and lower, pointing the toes. And we're going to finish off with some pulses. Flex a foot and pulse it up here. Lovely. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it there and lower it all the way down. Good. We're going to lie down onto our backs now into the relaxation position, bending up the knees, feet are parallel, hip width apart. Have the heels close to your bottom. Flatten your lower back into your mat. Scoop the spine up bone by bone, coming to the tips of your shoulder blades. Hold it up here for a moment and then soften your breastbone and roll back down all the way, lengthening your spine as you do, back to the mat. And we'll go again. So tucking that pelvis under, rolling up through the spine, send your knees away, really squeeze and lift the bottom, lifting the hips without flaring the ribs, and then imagine you've got a heavy weight on your chest. You're rolling all the way back down, lengthening out through your spine. Ready to go again. Scooping up, drawing the tummy in, send your arms up to the ceiling, lift both heels up and lower, lift and lower. So we're really working to the legs and the bottom. Squeeze them nice and high. Good, and then staying up nice and high, send your arms all the way overhead and roll down through the spine. Once your bottom is on your mat, you're going to inhale to prepare, exhale, nod the chin to the chest, sending your arms all the way down past your thighs. You're going to come up into your curl up and then coming all the way back down, arms coming overhead. So keep going with this, coming into your curl up, shoulder blades off your mat, really send your fingertips past your thighs and then lift one leg into 90, lift the other leg and then place it back down. So you're doing your tabletop lift, lift, lower, lower, all while staying up into your curl up. And then rolling all the way back down, lying down onto your mat. So you're going to extend one leg, lift it and kick it up into the air, lower and bring it back in. So you extend it, kick up to the air, lower and draw in. And then send your arms up above the head and give yourself a nice stretch here. Lengthen your legs away, have a wiggle with the hips. You're going to roll up all the way into sitting and then carefully come up into standing. Taking the legs slightly wider than your hips, you're going to stretch over to one side like so, and then curl all the way round to center at the bottom, rolling up bone by bone up into standing. Take the arms up above your head, inhale and exhale to lower them down. Over to the other side, stretching over to that side, really getting a nice stretch here and then circling to the floor, rolling up and then inhale, both arms up to the sky and then lower down and heel toe everything in. We're going to finish with a balance, rising on up, lift the arms above the head and then take the arms out to the side as you lower the heels with control. Inhale the arms up and exhale to open with control, just lowering the heels. Grow a little bit taller, have a wiggle. Inhale to send both arms up to the ceiling, palms together, elbows are squeezing down together and just stretch out the hands and the fingers. Again, inhale up, palms and elbows together and then push the fingers away as you come down the midline of your body. Lovely, just take your hands behind your back, interlink the fingers, open the chest, look up to the sky. And well done, you have finished. I hope you enjoyed this beginner workout and I'll see you again next week.